Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the other match for today in the Get Good NA division, the rookie side of things, if you will. I am Bemi. Along with me is still the wonderful culinary genius mastermind, Chef Billy. How you doing, buddy?
Nice little break there, but yeah, getting ready to get into some rookie action here.
Yes, sir. We're moving on up in the world as we are going to see Midwest Caliber versus the Scuffed Shock, not the San Francisco Shock. The Shock, nonetheless, though. And why don't we sort of start painting the picture here as we get into our first game very soon, starting with the Midwest Caliber with two Reinhardts.
I'm flummoxed by it. They both say they like to run the Rhine when they've got a perfectly good Zarya on their roster. So obviously you can't run the double Rhine as much as they might want to. So we're going to see what kind of a ethos they're going to come out with. Are they going to come out with a very brawly death ball style, or are they going to play a little bit of a more controlled uh, uh, meta, maybe using a Sigma instead of, if they do decide to run the Yabber guy. It just depends on what they're going to come out with. Looking at their support core, and I like to focus in on the support cores a little bit, as we saw in our last match. It was support core versus support core, and man, Congre absolutely destroyed. You called for an ambulance for the birds after the match, and I think that they got carted off pretty badly there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, whose support line is going to show up. If we're going to get the same kind of on play that we just saw, or is it going to be more of a balanced match as we're looking at Scuff Shock? It looks like they have a very defined sense of what they want to do. They've listed, 7 people on their roster, and most of them right now, it looks like they are very defined in what they want to do. So is the ability to adapt on the fly going to be there for Scuff Shock, or is it going to be Scuffed as their name implies?
We'll see. I mean, 4-1 again. These players are 4-1 records. We're talking about these. These are basically the best teams in their respective, apart from the teams that are just right above them. They are still at the very top, as we like to share. But at the very least, both have 4-1 records, so they obviously know what they're doing in some respect. That being said, they did 3-0. I am expecting maybe a hybrid at this moment, but again, the death ball in this kind of elo range, as we're still in, is still very good. Looking at the Scuff Shocked as their primary heroes of the May Doomfist does raise some eyebrows, but could have merit. But again, it is that healer, and I do agree with you. And Ana is going to be a big question here. I think it's basically what's going to be the designated healer that's going to be constantly seen throughout the series, and what's the one that's going to be flexing a lot, and what values that flex the most, and what do you think is valued as the dependent as opposed to the independent variable of healers?
Right, and looking at aside from Scuff Shock right now, looks like Hen, looks like they want to run the Moira Brig. So, is Lissaru going to be able to provide enough healing with the Brig and Moira variant, as opposed to Tyler and Trixio being able to do it on Ana and Lucio? That's what's the real push and pull is going to be.
It is going to be interesting to see, but we're going to see it on Lijiang. So again, with the map dependency, as we spoke about last series, if you were with us, if you didn't, go watch that if you want to see well coordinated team action from one side, of course. But either way, going into this, again, we're starting at command center. So what's the vibe here?
I mean, you want to go brawl here. I mean, you can do a lot of things, but I think running the brawly death ball comp here is going to be absolutely crucial. Getting that inspire healing from the Brig, if they decide to run it, there's going to be the CC ability of the shield bash as well, being able to knock people out of their abilities. So, if they play as a clumped up group, I think that the team that runs a Brig is going to be the best. But it does look like Lissaru is going to bring that out onto the field for the side from Scuff Shock.
Well, Scuff Shock, I mean, I'm a little bit worried about this Doomfist, but I mean the wall does allow them to make it very brawly instead of cage fighting, and that's what they'll do. And Dagger going down is pretty big. That's almost like losing the main tank in a way because it doesn't charge them up and on the Reinhardt or protect anybody. So now a lot of this damage is gone, and there it is. Zando gets two. A beautiful pin coming in as well to just get everything out of the way, and Stuff and Things will just lead the charge into this point for our friends on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, Midwest Caliber, you know, kind of got socked in the face, not to make too much of a pun there, by Zando on the Doomfist, already 73% to that first Meteor Strike. I think the walling off from Plasma was pretty decent there, and the healing coming in from Lissaru absolutely keeping up the team right there. I think that the real battle is going to be between Nard Dog and Zando on the DPS for both sides.
Oh, but a clack for the walls right now does manage to find an opening, and on the other side as well, Midwest Caliber showing up, and I'm really glad to see this coalescence being committed here. Interestingly enough, I don't think you have enough firepower or player power to win this fight, my friends. You gotta give it over. I guess it's to buy time, but I don't know if that was worth it. Alright, fine. We're committing to the stagger. Cool, fair enough. Does get the two close to 50%, and I guess job well done. But Midwest Caliber, great self-restraint on not using the ults.
I mean, they're gonna have the frozen tornado available from Onyx and Nard Dog should they decide to invest both DPS ultimates. You really got, you know, the escapability or the damage ability of Zando's Meteor Strike, and then the grab rally could be something to stall them here at the window.
Oh, well, speaking of windows, this window of frozenness is going to be massive. Shatter as well into the blossom. No stuff for straight with the Q, I've noticed, but I mean, at least they have support ults coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bit of an over-oppressive Q there, an extravaganza, if you will. Tyler really getting ahead in this healing and damage output over the opposite Hen from Stuff's Shock. So, man, you really want to see them kind of be able to push into it and sustain. And I think the over-oppressive Q there may hinder them here.
Could be their downfall. Meteor Strike comes in, but the sustainability of the sound barrier does allow them to keep alive, and they're able to reverse the aggression and again commits a lot of ultimates. But I mean, we can't deny it, they are winning in percentage.
Yeah, they're cleaning up the fights right now. The focus fire coming from Midwest Caliber right now is a lot more defined than what you're seeing from Scuffed Shock. And the second grab coming in from Hidden Dagger, their Zarya specialist, looks to be getting the better of the value of the two Zaryas right now. That's a great wall also coming up from Onyx.
Great wall coming up, and I mean, this could be also interesting. It's, oh my gosh, Onyx, no! Oh, goodness gracious me. It drops the Blizzard, but gets stunned in the animation midway. And now they don't have anything to do right now on the side of Midwest Caliber. It is going to be Shock flipping it back over just in the nick of time, but a nice 99% for Midwest all the same.
I mean, going basically Grav versus Blizzard right now. Stuff and Hands right now. Stuff and Things is going to have a Shatter available into this Blizzard as well. So this could be a fortunate press of Q right now for Scuffed Shock. You know, the cancel of the Blizzard is absolutely mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. A grab into, once again, a Blizzard to oppose this. Doesn't allow them to buy time, but now going into this, after this wipe, it is going to be last team fight territory here, Billy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, all the Scuffed Shock really has into this is a Coalescence to keep the team up, and you're going to have Shatter and Coalescence on the other side. Also, Death Blossom just about online for Nard Dog. So, you know, they're going to have to get to the point fast, though. They're going to have to aggress and avoid walls from Onyx.
Well, unfortunately, they've already missed one wall, but there it is. That is a massive Earth Shatter, wiping out one by one. Midwest bringing this back over. Also able to just drop the Blossom just to keep up the aggression, pushing through one by one, and they have managed to flip it over. They just fight at the choke now. Midwest Caliber will take the first map.
Yeah, I mean, there may be a last-minute toucher if he can get there, but I think... Oh, man, great wall from Onyx to deny them the touch to continue the overtime lick from going all the way down, and it was a tale of, you know, being able to marshal your ultimates. And, the last person to be able to get an ultimate onto the field was the team from Midwest Caliber, and they take a 1-0 lead here in Lijiang as we head to night market. And you've got to think the DPS right now being shown from Scuffed Shock just not getting enough frags right now.
No, just Scuffed Shocked again when they went into that with the Doomfist again. I was worried about that firepower and just getting denied by the Mei, so it was a little bit disconcerting. But again, if we're gonna go play with unorthodox heroes, I like this map a lot more for it because you got the sim for the night market. As we see both go for the same strat, it just seems to be something if you are a well-coordinated team, you just go for it. But I mean, again, it comes down to the damage dealing, and even though Plasma was the big damage dealer here, I mean, when you have turrets all around you, it's just gonna obliterate you.
Yeah, and Tyler pumping out the heals right now. Already 35% to the Coalescence there. Narddog is going to have Photon Barrier in, little to no time. But I think that the healing orb that was thrown out prior to the engagement, once they came through that Symmetra teleporter, really keeping the team up and focusing on the heals rather than trying to be a damage dealer.
Yep, I mean, you're a healer first and a damage dealer second, and sometimes you run into a Moira in comp that just forgets about that, and it happens sometimes. However, being that said, speaking of bloodthirsty, trades come in. However, the main tank going down is not good for the side of Shock, as again, Midwest Caliber will keep the fight going, and losing your main tank pretty much just assumes that the House of Cards will fall on itself.
Yeah, and I mean, really right now, Narddog on the Symmetra getting ramped up with that microwave. I call it the microwave beam. As it gets hotter, it does more damage, and just shredding the shields of stuff and things right now, and just deleting the bubbles of Optic and not getting any value. I mean, you're getting charged up, but if you go down quickly thereafter, there's nothing into it.
Oh, Tricio is almost gets the big boop right there. But the wall, okay, that's big enough in and of itself. That's almost the equivalent of a boop. You get 3 out of the way of each other, and a massive shatter as well to clean it up. Beautiful coalescence to keep the team's aggression going, and this is a great cycle of ults coming in from Midwest Caliber. 70% on the box.
Was just a filthy little sequence of events coming from the side from Midwest Caliber, and Yabber Guy throwing in the shatter to really secure all those kills. Gotta watch out for Plasma coming in close to a Death Blossom. If he can get behind the shielding, I think this could spell a very quick beatdown. What a wall!
I mean, yeah, the wall's gonna make it a little bit hard to flank around if you are not able to, because you can't race through walls, unfortunately. There's not that update coming out yet. At least no, let not happen. But yeah, that wall, Onyx, really, I want to say, was a big play there for the crowd control, allowing Midwest Caliber to get that 2-0.
Grav going into the Blizzard there was an absolutely filthy little combo wombo there from Onyx, delaying the Blizzard, seeing that his mirror had blocked up, waited a couple extra seconds, and then pressed Q, and that was all she wrote. The Graviton Surge is being shown by Hidden Dagger right now are absolutely part of this aggression being shown by Midwest Caliber, and you've got to think right now the DPS from Scuffed Shock have got to do a little bit better of a job of getting into the backline and stopping the sustain that's being shown by Tyler and Tricio. Tricio just booping people left and right and not letting them get set in their place, and you want to see the aggression. I mean, Optic Plasma could have gotten into the backline and really disrupted them. He never got to get Blossom off Bemi.
No, he didn't. He did also got it very near the end as well. So many of those fights went down so quickly that they weren't allowed ultimate charge. So it kind of made it difficult to get that Blossom at the end of near the end of the round. But yeah, again, also it's not so much about can they produce enough damage, can they focus the damage as well? Because it felt like they were kind of running in there with no plan as well. Because we saw Onyx get so many walls, and if you're a team that's just like, okay, let's just rush to the point and win the fight from there, you're gonna get walled off so easily. We saw 3 walls happen. That wall where it got a 3K shatter to help along with that was massive for Yabber Guy. So, when you have something like that, you need to kind of go in there with a plan, flanking around the back, like you said, or sort of trying to bait out utility before you go into the fight. Just something that doesn't leave you exposed, and that's what Scuff I feel like need to work on a little bit.
I think that also Lissaru on the Brigitte. I don't think that was enough healing. I don't think that she was able to get enough of the inspire healing going on, and the stunning. We saw one stun out of a an ultimate versus Onyx on Control Center, but you didn't see much production coming out from it. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to see. But man, I mean, the focus fire, the shot calling has to be huge for Midwest Caliber right now, because anytime somebody was focused out, once that wall came up from Onyx, as you brought up before, they were in there. They were on it like white on rice, and they just absolutely deleted stuff and things every time he got walled off.
Their mentality should be in a very PMA mode right now, but we'll also be in PMA mode after we catch a quick breath. So we'll go into the next wrap in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Like a Newton's Cradle, we're back! And we're here with another map going in. Is Junkertown. Not really a surprise looking at the map preferabilities. Moving on here, and this, counterplay. Big concern for the Shock just because of the hero pool that they were displaying and the execution. You need a lot of coordination if you're going to win in Junkertown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you looking at what we saw there, the focus fire coming out of Midwest Caliber, especially on night market, was what we really saw them get their shot calling and focus fire down. Massive advantage to them right now. But we do have some substitutes coming in for Midwest Caliber. Kind of a head scratcher from both of us, considering what we saw happen at Lijiang Tower. But we've got Oncoming Storm coming in for Onyx. We saw the May player go out. Toxic Raider's going to go ahead and swap out in the Ryan v. Ryan duel on their team. And looks like a Cymophane is going to come in for Tyler. Looks like Cymophane is a main healer substitute. Looks like they're going to play the Mercy as opposed as it's shown on our little cheat sheets that we've got here. But is Mercy going to be the proper set of heals going out compared to what we saw coming from Scuffed Shock, where they ran the Moira Brig in its entirety of Lijiang?
Maybe the pharmacy. I mean, looking at the I was about to say character sheets because I'm addicted to D&D. Looking at the looking at the stuff for our friends over at Scuffed Shock, we might be looking at pharmacy. I'm just guessing here. Maybe Echo.
E-commerce is what we've come up with in the console scene.
Oh, fair enough. E-commerce. I like it a lot. E-commerce. I think it could work. I mean, I have seen Echo as a frequent choice here on this map specifically, just because it works close range and it works both in very wide maps. Whereas Farah, it's like if she doesn't have a skybox that reaches the top of the Eiffel Tower, it's just not good for her. So maybe this is just sort of that ability to do that. Plus the AoE of Valkyrie, it's very quick to charge if you're a good Mercy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you really have to watch the skybox here, depending on if they do pull the pharmacy out. As Midwest Caliber have decided that they want to defend here, so that is going to be the main focus. Is what is Cymophane's role going to be? Is it going to be an aerial support specialist, or is it going to be there for the res ability? That's the other thing you have to put into Mercy's kit. It's always the 7v6 as long as the resurrection is available on cooldown.
Ooh, I don't know. What's the value of a res in the fight if you can't win the fight in the first place? I wonder. It's it's not the old Mercy. You can't cue the res anymore. It's not that go hide in a corner Mercy. It's be brave and strong Mercy. We'll see what happens here. Oh, you know what? The mobility. GA, of course. Being able to get into the front lines along with also staying near the bunker could work as well. More a second supercharger along with the bunker as well. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also being able to damage boost Nard Dog on this Ash, that is going to be almost insta kills coming out from them, depending on what kind of shielding we're going to see coming out of Scuffed Shock as they go into the events here. Bemi, looks like they're going to bring out a little bit of a double sniper comp.
Well, we'll see what happens. It wouldn't be surprised to me. But usually sometimes back in, more recent days, it's usually like the Ash Hanzo, because the Hanzo Storm Arrow is really good for like breaking those shields. However, we're going to see some good old Season 1 shooting some pans. We're going to see Lissero getting shot down immediately. Exactly what you don't want to see if you run by the Shock, as they have started pushing already and are going to be running into a little bit of a problem with the show. They need the AoE to work out or win some duels. Zando finally finding Nardog is exactly what they want. There's that res you were talking about, and maybe this will be value. I wonder if it does help. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. The Maytag's gone. I don't know if it's working out much more. I'm seeing this as a firm push for our friends over on Midwest Caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. And the big thing right there that won them that fight was the speed coming from Lissaroo. Got domed coming out of spawn. But you can't be damage boosted all the time, especially if the healing effects coming from Tricio on this map is not in your AoE range where you do the regen boost. If you're not standing within a certain amount of range of him, it's not going to do anything for you. And the res was immediately nullified by, not only Cymo losing their life, but also Nardog getting picked almost like 15 seconds or 10 seconds afterwards. So yeah, I don't know if this Mercy pick is going to be the optimal choice for healing right now.
I don't either. I mean, BAP does heal a lot, so I mean, that's good at least in theory, but if you're not holding your own right now, this could be very difficult. At the moment, Shock looking pretty strong at the moment. And their Shatter comes out. It does. I mean, the Orisa will be able to survive. I don't know. Let's see. Our Dogs does have the high ground. They're able to find two, which does allow them to just basically secure this area. And we do see finally a hold for Midwest Caliber. The Shock will have to go back to rethinking or get a Bob suit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this right now, 4 ultimates online, almost a full 6-pack. Looking at it, you're going to have to see how do they stack the ultimates here on the side of the defense, because, Raider's going to have this Shatter or this Supercharger ready to go, and, the Sigma, the Gravitic Clutch is going to be a big game changer. Now, we do see that Nardog does go ahead and invest the Bob and contest the point, but he's been pushed away and taken off the field by Zando on this Widowmaker. And I mean, the push is up. Cymo getting the res onto Nardog, but loses their life in the interim. And I mean, it's all-out assault onto the point here. No real defense being able to be shown here from the side from Midwest Caliber. And it looks like this is going to be a second point capture with almost 5 minutes in the time bank from Scuffed Shock, and this is a big turnaround from what we saw in the last map on Lijiang. The speed of Lissaru getting her team into the back line of the Midwest Caliber is what the big difference is between these teams right now. Nardog does get the pick onto Zonda with a damage boost from Cymo, and it looks like they're going to need to invest some ultimates here because, I mean, it's going to be a grab ready online. They only have the sound barrier to defend against it. Gravitic Flux coming out from Hidden Dagger right now. Tricio picking up a double spot there. Toxic Rigger is going to be going down, as well as Cymo. This is a huge push coming in. Graviton Surge invested the Immortality Barrier, deleted by Zando on this Widowmaker, and it is full retreat time for Midwest Caliber as they just push into them. Plasma has decided to go ahead and swap over to the Southern Belle and takes a dome shot to oncoming Storm, and this is a massive push right now. 3:45 left into the time bank right now. Nardog just gets domed coming out of spawn from Zando. This is a huge investment right now. Shatter from the side from Stuff and Things. He takes 3 down. He's going to lose his life to oncoming Stream that has decided to go ahead and swap over to the Reaper at 2 meters. They're going to have to do something to bammy up their defenses here, or it's going to be lights out real quick at 3 minutes in the clock. Zando has the lights or sights up and looking at Hard Dog going and investing the Bob into the fight. And my goodness, this is a vicious hold right now. Toxic Raider goes down fast. This is a 5v3 situation right now. Coalescence coming out from Hen, giving his people up online. Zarya is fighting for her life. Bubbles going out. Bubbles deleted. And this should be the last bit of progress. And with 2 minutes and 54 seconds in the time bank, it looks like this is a massive turnaround from Scuffed Shock as they just basically steamroll over the Midwest Caliber. And now they're going to go ahead and go into the defensive stage here. And I'm telling you, man, this is some kind of a turnaround from what we saw in Lijiang Tower. The biggest thing that I saw there coming out of Scuffed Shock is Lissaru go ahead and abandoning the Brigitte there and using the speed to really get behind the shielding and defensive bunker that was trying to be shown with this double shield composition from Midwest Caliber. they're gonna have to figure out how to match the speed that's being thrown into them. Zando also a real standout here in this last map here. Just clicking heads, taking the immortality barrier out of Tricio also was a huge reason why, they have such an easy go of it. 15 seconds left on the clock. The defense coming out from Midwest Caliber looks like we're going to have a bit of a turreted situation. And I mean, wow. Nardog's going to go ahead and pull out the Widow here, maybe to get a couple heads coming out of it. It's going to be Zando versus Nardog. Nardog going ahead and going back over to the Bastion. This is a very weird composition. Looks like they might be trying to run some kind of a pirate ship here. Oncoming Storm using the turret, the Torbjorn here, and getting his turret up, but not really any kind of effect. So as we're looking at this right now, they're going to be facing down the barrel of a Bastion cannon. And, it is absolutely mayhem for them right now. The shielding is just going to go down in a huge way. Nardog's going to have to be careful. They're going to have to put all their skin in there.
Oh my gosh, they are absolutely obliterated. It is the double pirate ship. It is just what we call the Man of War, as it was named back in Assassin's Creed Black Flag or something I just saw to that effect. Either way, though, absolutely wiping it down. And, this is only coordination like this can work out with Midwest Caliber if they manage to hold it down here.
Yeah, they had to pop the tank configuration to take Lisa Rue out. I mean,
who cares? It's just a tank.
A little bit of a seat problem there, but man, I've never casted that long solo in my life, and I think I crushed that.
You did great, Bill. And already off the bat, it looks like Midwest is doing amazing as well, as they will go ahead and lock it down, keep it going, mowing it down with the level 3 turret style action. 5 minutes on the time bank, and they're really showing it how it's done to push down the map.
Here comes the res again for Tricio. Maybe you should have kept that in the bank. I mean, since you were that close to spawn anyways. But, go ahead and get it out there, get everybody onto the cart here. I think that, with the advent of, Baptiste coming out, this makes I
mean, they managed to grab the immortality shield just in the nick of time, but is it enough time, though, and enough healing to stabilize after that? It seems beyond the aftermath, it is, only delaying the inevitable, it seems, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, that was, once again, they're using speed to get into Midwest Caliber. I mean, they bring out the Tracer. Plasma already has Pulse Bomb just in the first swap of that. So, point number one. Point number two, landing a massive shatter like Stuff and Things just did will absolutely stop any kind of a push from anybody.
It will. It absolutely will. Doesn't matter how much you have an immortality field for. What really matters is if you can follow up with that survivability. And already off the bat, this is great as well. Plasma just bothering the back line along with the rest of the team. But there's Nardog with the good old flashbang, bringing it down to earth. Midwest stabilizing again. Really smart of them just to hunker down together before they try to push aggressively once more. And as much as I'm a big fan of the Bastion level 3 turret combo, I'm really glad that Nardog swapped over to this McCree, because look at him go.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very good pick, to kind of counter what they brought out in the Tracer. Now, as we see them, Plasma swapping off to the Cowboy of their own. And I mean, not to be outdone by what we saw come out from Scuffed on their attack phase, they are getting some serious push here.
They're absolutely getting some serious push here. That being said, though, will they survive this grab? Looks like they will be, because nobody else is left alive to address it. Torb turrets, folks. Crossfires cannot be ignored in Overwatch.
No, and that's Overwatch 101. If you can get multiple angles of attack onto your enemy, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win. And especially with the immortality barrier being thrown out there by Tricio during that grab, that was what kept them up, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered.
I think that's almost just like 101 of shooters in general. It's like you can manage to just be more in one place to overwhelm your opponent. You're certainly going to have the upper hand. But speaking of upper hands, Coalesce is not going to come anytime soon. Zando giving the Shock a reason to keep on fighting, and that's whittling down the time bank. A win condition. They have 2 win conditions here. Shock can at least have time bank advantage. That's pretty nice for them.
Absolutely. this is going to be like a very quick slamming attack coming from Midwest Caliber for them to be even able to match the time bank. You know, they're about 30 seconds away from what Scuffed Shock did. I mean, you know, Molten Cores could be online for this next one, and if Nard Dog can get into a very fortuitous position, he's going to be able to drop a couple of people out.
Could potentially very well be. We'll see what happens. Molten Core comes out. It allows them to, on the side of the Midwest, just keep going. They do manage to get stuff and things, so the trade is big. Both main tank squad means that the fight is still even Steven. That being said, though, supercharged Zarya will beat out a lesser charged Zarya, and that certainly was a big push coming in from them and Nardog.
Yep, and now looking at what's coming in to this little last bit of progress that they need to get in there, you've got 3 ultimates online for the side from that's a huge
the shatter. I mean, Plasma doesn't even get the value of the Deadeye. They are just gone, and Shock once again held this, and they've met the first win condition here, really. They have the time bank advantage, so now if they just hold it, they win.
Yeah, absolutely. The bigger thing there, you know, seeing the little flank shatter coming from Toxic Raider, if they would have went WM1 and pushed into that, they actually would have been able to whittle down stuff and things and stop their main tank from being able to aggress and get the healing that was coming out from spawn. So, you know, you invest 2 ultimates there into the fight. You know, Oncoming Storm does almost have another Molten Core ready to go. This grab coming up from Hidden Dagger is going to have to be met very neatly by Lissaru if they do get this sound barrier back online.
Well, let's see. I mean, they do have spawn advantage as well, so they can potentially still hold this to the very bitter end, but Zando going down is not what you want, especially if you don't get to drop the bomb. At least drop the bomb if you're leaving. Ash, please! They're just going to get wiped out. Icefall will be all they see left until they come back out of spawn, and now Zando has to drop a very awkward bomb, which may not even get the value that they want.
You know what? I mean, it's all.
Touch?
I don't know. Yeah, Bob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you charge them off. And yep. Hard. You charge off the Bob, and I, you know, that's a very smart play coming from Toxic Raider. Charging the Bob off and taking the contest ability away from, you know, the Butler. That's a heads-up play coming from their main tank, and you know the time bank difference though. This is going to be where the rubber meets the road. Will Midwest Caliber be able to get enough progress coming out of spawn as they're going to be on the attack here in the extra innings, as I like to call it? You know, it's a 2 minute 41 second time, or 1 minute 41 second time difference between the two teams. So you're going to have to, you know, not only be economical, but you're also going to have to be a lot more lethal than maybe you wanted to if you were on the defender side. You know, the defender side can kind of sit back and absorb pressure, you know, and just deny space as they come out of spawn. Whereas Midwest Caliber are going to have to be a lot more aggressive to get the progress that they want.
They do. But let's be fair, this is technically Shock's map. They were the ones to counterpick this, so they should, in theory, be the ones that are winning more. And, I mean, in the span of a minute, it's very big, but it's still relatively close as well. Going into this defense, we'll see how the Shock do with a very aggressive peak.
I do like this setup here. This is where I normally like to hold as a main tank, especially in the overtime period, especially if I'm on defense first. I want to get in their face. I want to, you know, establish my dominance and get in there and aggress and make them give pause. But I mean, if the trades come out, it's a longer walk from spawn for Midwest Caliber. This is going to be some good progress coming through for them right now.
Yeah, no competition nothing to talk about. It is just locking that down. Didn't address the Bastion right away. Just gonna be tough.
Yeah, Optic threw out a couple of what I want to call a little bit of overly optimistic bubbles. I think that you wait and let your tank or whoever you're going to send in there, let them take a little bit of damage and then get the bubble onto them. Don't be too premature with your bubble placement.
Very true. That being, you know, with the bubbles at the moment, speaking of the Reinhardt, they are getting close to that shatter. They are going to be able to lock it down. They do manage to get the res, though, and they're able to set up the immortality field. They just got to be mindful of the high ground. Plasma could basically spell the demise here. They're still pushing as well. They do have to hug the payload, though.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's going to be kind of a win condition is, can they force Midwest Caliber off the payload? That is the
Oh,
ooh.
well, turret's going to be in the back line. This is fair enough. This is like you said, where the rubber hits the road. All that being said, there isn't really much rubber. It's just hover tires now in the near future.
And very true, and Nard Dog right now on this Bastion is proving to be a very fortuitous pick as, the shielding that's being deployed by Scuff Shock right now is just getting melted as they try to throw themselves onto the point. Take a couple of seconds, get your full six together, get your cooldowns in order, and then try to go ahead and ingress onto the point. And the other thing is, Optic might want to swap over to a Diva, kind of boost her into him.
Again! The exact same corner in the exact same place with little to no shield. That's insane.
How do you? That's a head scratcher. They had so much momentum going their way. One shatter, and it's all she wrote. I mean, I guess you don't need any shielding or eating Bastion's turret fire coming in if you shatter them all and just knock them out.
I suppose so, but if you're running double shield, in theory, you should at least have a shield to rotate with. But I mean, sometimes you're quick on the cue. You're just gonna feel it in the moment, and they certainly saw that moment of opportunity, and they took it on the side of Shock. Now, with 2 minutes and 54 seconds, and being able to stop at least to the first elbow, as long as they don't get hold, this feels pretty realistic to win, Billy.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, looking at what they're going to come out with, the more CC that you can produce here, the more stall that you can produce here and stop the aggression coming from Scuff Shock, the better. And I mean, personally, I would actually run, either Rhine Sigma or Rhine Orisa here. I think the Orisa here would be very great using the halt to kind of control where people are coming from, or, grouping them up together to, either throw a fire strike in there or throw some TNT, or, there's so many things that you can do with the Orisa here, and letting Rhine being the mobile shield, also with the one hit, potential, him pinning a squishy. I mean, that's optimal for them right now. So they're going to have to be careful and not get picked right out the gate. But as I say that,
massive wall separating them and putting Chang in and being aggressive. I mean, Midwest Caliber won the. Whoa! The deflect from Plasma. Hold on a second. They just shifted that story and narrative around. Oh my gosh! Well, I was about to say is he wanted me to aggression with aggression sometimes. And I guess their mind's a good defense and a good offense, but I guess not.
What a hell of a freaking deflect from Plasma there. I mean, Toxic was like on 100 health, maybe. And yeah, the deflection right back into his dome, and that took him out too sweet. But the good thing is that they all did die very quickly. So there are at least 1 or 2 more chances to recontest here.
100%. Ori the Shatter, massive follow-up as well. Zando not being really contested by anybody. It's shooting fish in a barrel right now for them as they do get picks, damage, Optic just supercharged right now. Things, it's just all coming together for, our friends on Shock.
I mean, this is a great turnaround from what we saw from Li Zhang. I mean, I think the shot calling, I think the individual skill coming out right now is also what is being shown right here. I think, once again, I think Hidden Dagger, you need the double shield here right now, especially with Zondo. You have got to get somebody up there to contest the Widowmaker because they are just laying into, like you said, fish in a barrel.
They went there, and now they have the information, and Plasma can drop the blade because they know where they are, and that's 3 right there. Nobody's gonna touch, and we have a series on our hand. Evie, I'm gonna let you know right now, it's not gonna be a 3-0.
I mean, that was just filth in a bucket right there, and they poured it all over the top of Midwest Caliber. We're tied up 1-1, and what a turnaround that we've seen from Scuffed Shock here. That is what you love to see. They got punched in the mouth. They got 2-0'd on Lijiang Tower, and now Scuffed Shock says, you know what? We're going to go ahead and pick the map here, and oh, by the way, we're going to go ahead and win it. We're going to tie this up.
It's I'm really glad to see pick maps work well in the favor because that shows the understanding and the learning and the adaptability of a team, and it shows us that there is always ways of learning from your mistakes. Not that Midwest did, unfortunately, as they literally got shattered in the same elbow in the same exact situation. So I gotta say, going into the next series, it's going to be interesting, but we'll have to find out who takes the match point game in a little bit, because we're going to go to a break real quick and we'll be right back. Like getting attacked by the enemy Roadhog. We're back! We're coming in to King's Row. It is 1-1 between Midwest Caliber and Scuffed Shock. So, with that being said, Midwest Caliber, I mean, if we wanted to really be nitpicky and say who's still maybe favored for the matchup, I would say maybe Midwest, just because it was a lot more convincing of a win versus Junkertown. But going into this Kings Row, it's kind of almost anybody's map, really. Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, the Zarya play coming from both teams right now, I'm gonna have to favor Hidden Dagger right now. I think that the value that the Hidden Dagger is getting right now, I think it's just that little bit much more over what we saw from Optic. But I mean, looking at what's coming in right now, Yaberguy is going to go ahead and replace Toxic Raider on the Reinhardt, I assume. And Onyx is going to go ahead and come back in for oncoming Storm. And we kind of questioned in our break why they went ahead and swapped their DPS out after such a convincing win on Lijiang Tower. I think that maybe they should have stayed with what they had, what was working. The old adage, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. So now we see the original lineup coming back in here. So looking at that, Kings Row, they're going to be attack. They're going to be on attack, and I think that you have to give the little bit of an edge right now to Midwest Caliber right now, as the Onyx May was such a force on Lijiang Tower.
It was. The ice walls are very detrimental. I mean, their oncoming storm was also very good as well for Caliber, with just being able to get a lot of good ice walls. Honestly, just the May in general just shown a lot of value, and with such a close corridor kind of claustrophobic map like Kings Row can be, it's just so good. Like, honestly, Deathball, this is where it really shines. Like, and when I see Deathball compositions, I see a very like old time favorite composition. If you remember back in the days of Hanzo Grav Dragon Strike meta, where it was about getting the Grav, getting the Dragon Strike, sometimes it works here.
Yeah, I mean, you could absolutely run a Hanzo here if you wanted to go back and be nostalgic. I mean, the thing is that we keep seeing the same kind of compositions coming out from people. I was very refreshed to see the Torbjorn come out, not only because of the crossfire coming out, but also the ability to spy somebody getting into your back line. I think that that's something that Overwatch has lost as far as a meta is the spy ability. People checking their sixes, checking their flanks. It all seems to be such a downhill course from these teams that we see, and you see it other than Owl, you see it a lot. The flanks that are being derived from either an attacking team or a defending team. It just seems like it catches everybody so off the cuff, and they have to go into reaction mode, and you burn cooldowns out of it. So, I like Deathball. I would prefer to see, especially on the defense, I would prefer to see an Orisa Sig here, maybe taking a high ground, and being able to, touch the point at their leisure, kind of rotate, between high and low ground. Also, we haven't seen any kind of an aerial threat whatsoever in this match. Echo could be a very good very good hero here. Also, Farah at certain points here throughout Kings Row, other than really last point, but even still, you've seen. I'm sure you've seen, there's been big barrages on the third point of Kings Row, but man, the tanks are going to have to step up here. The supports are going to have to be on point. We saw battling on us on our last match, and we haven't seen the Egyptian healer come out yet.
No, that's very true, and it wouldn't be a surprise if they came out here. But that's the thing about Kings Row; it is such a time capsule of compositions where literally everything under the sun just works if you just give it enough welly. It's just allowing it to have that breathing room to exercise, and a lot of different tactics can work around it. It's just such a well-rounded map, and that's one of the reasons why you almost always see this map come up, which is why it was such a shocker to see Blizzard World, because Kings Row is so good.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing is, we saw Scuff Shock do a bit of this. Um, after they captured point A of Junkertown, they went almost to the conclusion of point B and were contesting Midwest Caliber as they came out of spawn there. This is something that can actually work very well. If you are successful in capturing point A of Kings Row, you can actually go through the street space and kind of get down onto the defense coming out. And if you play your cards right, you can get a pretty easy snowball through the streets of Kings Row.
You can, and you could also get hard stop here in this map as well, and that is the infamous choke. So it's a big balance of having enough time to either get stopped by the choke that you're not really too worried about, and you only lose like a minute or two, versus basically being aggressive and just letting Ana hang out in the cart. Maybe that's the reason why we don't see Ana a lot in this map, is because Ana's there. She's just pushing the cart a lot, and we just don't see the cart being pushed much because of how aggressive it can be with the attack push.
Yeah, I mean, you could also, throw a Brigida on there. You could throw on, I guess you could throw Zen on there. I mean, Zen can take care of himself, especially if you've got the aim that can back up the healing. So, Ana right now, she's in such a weird place. She's great in some situations. She's bad in others. We saw her we saw the Ana in our last match absolutely dominate the match no matter where they were at.
Oh, yeah. I think that situation then becomes less so the hero, more so using the utility wisely. Because again, there's a lot of self-restraint that doesn't just come from ultimate, so it has to be self-restraint on utility as well.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the best thing that I saw.
Genji.
Doom Genji? Nani?
Defense. Yeah. Okay, well, the backline's not safe. That's for sure.
The kind ability is that the appeal is not going to really be there, even though Zando does look like he is poised to help the backline or get an especially kill.
Interesting. TP on top of the good old statue, but it's not the top hat strat with the Bastion. But it's certainly a heroic entrance, and they do get stuff and things. Here we go. But Yammer guy going down, that's pretty big. This means now that they have both main tanks out, but the spawn advantage is still in favor for our friends on the side of Midwest Caliber. So they can still push through. They have a very highly charged Zarya. Meteor Strike, though, from Zando does go down right away. The Hidden Dagger supercharged up. It's right now a bit of a tangle. They're not falling back. They're just getting ready to push again. And here comes the window. These ultimates are just charging up so quickly. Oh my gosh. This fight looks so deadly. There's the blade, though, from Plasma. Can they find it? Can they save the day once again to get two? But they get stopped immediately by the stun, but it might have been enough damage. It might have been enough fix that they made it stabilize. He might have only just getting one thing, but here comes the Blossom through the wall. Gets two. Zero puts it out the sky, but that's it. But some of the things able to pin it. But that's all there is. The spawn advantage. It allows the Midwest Caliber to just lock it down. But what a fight!
Oh my goodness! I mean, pressing Q on cooldown is that a theme here?
Are we in mayhem?
I think we're in mayhem right now. I think they're all juiced up 200% of their normal. But I mean, there's the capture right now. The snowball potential is real. Hidden Dagger could actually get a massive grab here coming into this next fight. Stuff and Things will be able to counter with a Shatter should he be able to get around the shielding of Yabber guy. So, I mean, Lisaru also with the rally available to get that extra armor should they need it.
It was a lot of Q. You're absolutely right about that. It was a very thirsty fight. I mean, it does give them a good time bank. They just got to play very passively here. Massive grab through the window, but it's from both sides. But they're able to get Lysera, which means the rally is gone now. The Earth Shatter is massive. Can they follow up? It looks like it's able to. There is a very charged up Zarya here that was said by Chef Billy very accurately described.
My Pogger's face is on right now because that was an absolutely massive amount of charge going in with Hidden Dagger right there. The dueling grabs, you always think that the second grab is going to be the one that wins you the fight, but they say, nay, we're going to go ahead and take this out ourselves. We're going to get our Zarya charged up to the roof and just laser beam everybody down.
Sorry, was that a John Panette reference? That's great. I love it. Anyway, so wall comes up. It looks like they can secure this. However, Stuff and Things gone down so quickly, but the Shatter doesn't find any value. I was about to say maybe they can do anything. They actually to go down themselves. And once again, this crowd control coming in here with the CC of the wall of the Symmetra is massive. Meteor Strike will come down, buys them just a couple of more seconds, but that is going to be fixed in history. 4 minutes and 44 seconds of the clock for the Midwest Caliber.
So the real thing that I'm seeing here right now are the double microwave beams. I mean, you're getting double lasered from Nardog and Hidden Dagger on the Symmetra and Zarya respectively. Both supporter ultimates on available online and Onyx. Oh, gets domed by Zando. Holy frick, that was evil.
That was very important as well, for sure. Finally, Shock had something going in their way for a change, and they managed to hold it down. That being said, Hen going to be gone. We finally see GGNA coming into play, actually. But it's been so long that I worry if they will find any value. It is very close in the nano boot, but here it comes here right off the bat. It's a lot, I will say that though. However, the rotation of ultimate seems to be okay. They have a couple of things up there.
Grab maybe to possibly pin them up against their spawn doors here as the cart is being left unchecked right now. 2 people on the cart, and I mean, throwing the grab in here right now would be the best thing and just secure the map here.
Oh, and they can't eat it as well. It is stuck. However, the Zarya was able to bubble the Brigitte, and Brigitte was able to get away long enough, so the Brig, Lysero, able to come to the rescue and keep the team's streams alive holding this cart.
I mean, they had it all planned out, and if they would have pressed Q maybe a second earlier, they would have trapped them at the spawn doors right there, and nobody would have gotten out. Sure. Oof, what a great play from Lysero, being able to pop the rally there, keep the people up, and Zando picking heads out of spawn, just go ahead and setting up there and just letting it loose. And yeah, that is what we like to see from a Widowmaker here on the last point, taking to the high ground and getting the damage necessary to do what they need to do.
Absolutely. Now Onyx's job is less so about pushing damage and getting these tanks out of the way. It's more about bothering this Widowmaker. However, with the stun from Nardog, it seems like they could be left to their own devices quite well. Massive grab comes in though. This looks like another unsuccessful push for our friends on Midwest Caliber, but they get a shatter. But the anti-nade, a pretty big anti-nade that does force them to push back. Rossico lessons. They really believe in this push right now, and it looks like they can believe in it. They're able to get quite a few people. The boot comes in. They're able to get Reinhardt as well, and it looks like Midwest Caliber is going to finally get this to the finish line with at least close to 2 minutes on the clock. It will be actually 2 minutes itself if they can just get it out of the way. And oh, well, all right, Mace to the face, gets his dagger out of the way. First shatter comes in, maybe it's by Nardog. They have to fall back. Oh, it's so close. They missed it. Oh my God. They managed to get it. A great duplication as well. Like you said, Billy. Billy, they managed to hold on once again.
My South Park right now. Oh my gosh. You know, the duplicate coming from Plasma right there, absolutely crucial. And then being able to get up into the air and throwing the sticky bombs down. Another great anti-nade coming in from Hen. This Ana is absolutely turning the fight for Midwest, or for Scuff Shock right now. They've got just less than a minute 30 in the clock, but 4 ultimates online for the side from Midwest Caliber. You've got to think grab Death Blossom is the way to go here. Nothing on the line right now as far as Scuff Shock and the defense. You're coming up close on another rally, but Hen throwing in some haymakers with the anti-nade.
Yeah, but is it enough? I don't know. They need to get some early picks if you want to win this fight. Yober guy going down is pretty big. No shatter. Here comes the Blossom though. Does manage to get 2. You can't matrix that forever, Optic. And here we go. We are going to push on through. Deadeye as well. Keeps the sound barrier. Everybody alive and stable. However, again, since they didn't get across to the finish line, spawn doors are knocking and they just used the grab. So they can't stop them at spawn. It's a chance, and they're starting to turn it around right now. They've managed to bring them down. Yober guy's the last one remaining. Onyx tries to come back to the rescue, able to get Plasma, but it's just 2 people and versus the world.
Oh my goodness, what a great series of ultimates there. I thought that they had it once again. You know, I think Nardog maybe wants that Deadeye back in his pocket as they waiting for people to come out. You can't, I mean, D.Va showing up huge here. Optic swapping over to the Korean flyer, and man, we're in OT now when we had 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock.
It was 4 minutes and 44 seconds to start with us well overall. And now we're in this position that is just absolutely amazing. This is sheer willpower coming in from the side of Shock. They will not go down without a fight. Deadeye's going to come out from Zando. Can they find a good enough position? An opening, they get Yober. The Suns are taking them out. They're going to get somebody. A tank down. Both tanks are gone. The anti-nade is massive from Hen. Before they go down and everything will be gone, the duplication will come in. There's 3 tanks. You cannot face that as an Onyx. Yeah, you're a tank buster, but there's 3. The whip will go down. They don't get to complete the push.
Oh my goodness, my poor stomach right now is just absolutely in royals right now. What a fantastic stall and hold to deny the full capture of King's Row by Midwest Caliber. I mean, you've got to give it to Plasma right now. The Echo, I think, was the biggest move there for them, the counter pick, getting the focusing beam and getting really wily with the positioning, getting behind the tank line as they were just tunnel vision, trying to get the point through, and Plasma having the wherewithal to kind of hide back in one of the corners and just throw sticky bombs into the back of Reinhardt. I mean, Yober guy never had a chance.
No. Oh, wow. This is amazing. Well, I mean, it's a very far push, so let's still look at that silver lining real quick for our friends on Midwest Caliber. But that being said, Shock now gets that turn, and they can potentially win this map overall, which is great for them. How do you feel about the defense for Midwest Caliber? Do you think it's good?
I do think it's good. Once again, I'm going to yield to the current meta that's going on right now. I think double shields is the way to go. Bringing the Sigma out right now, you know, you can do the Flying Dutchman, which is when you get a Gravitic Flux into a Deadeye. You know, that's a huge combo that's really underutilized right now. Also, Onyx being able to wall and cordon people off. We saw how well they did on Lijiang Tower. So, once again, you know, the ability to kind of steer people where they need to go, that's going to be the biggest thing right now.
It is going to be the biggest thing. Also, the biggest thing again is the walls, so they get stuff and things. And Onyx, again, keeping the team supercharged up. That's a good start off the bat for, you know, hold for Midwest Caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Hen is getting the range with these anti-nades right now, Bemi, and I am just very excited to see what this new wrinkle into our game is. We've not seen Ana very much at all. I think that they may have found a little bit new life in this.
Yeah, I mean, the fight ain't over until it's over, Chief. It's gonna be basically what it comes down to. Getting Hen is pretty big. Great target prioritization. Trico being in a Reddit Lucio and annoying the backline. Fair enough. You do have a perfectly good long-range hit scan, but I suppose a massive wall, and the rest will follow suit, and that will be it.
Right now, Tyler is putting out so much heals on this Moira, as we saw happen on Lijiang Tower. I think that the Moira, the sustain coming from it, and the AoE healing coming out of Tricio, also being able to speed the heroes back into the comforting arms of their supports. That's a bit of a change right here that they needed to see and they needed to employ. So we've got to see what kind of a push can Plasma get into the backline right now, because, you know, you've got Onyx back there. Narddog is going to be spy checking him on the sides.
Yeah, very true. We'll see. I mean, at the moment, they seem to be fully aware of the situation. A shatter into Deadeye will get the 3. Boom, 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 shooting fish in a barrel, Billy.
That's my official stank face for the day. That was filthy, dirty, nasty. You should put your nose in a corner, Narddog, for doing that to them.
Think about what you did.
Think about what you did. But now, you know, shatter available for stuff and things. Plasma may be able to put a Dragon Blade into this, but you've got to watch out for the Blizzard coming out of Onyx.
Yeah, and you can't eat it. You have the Zarya, so we'll see what happens here. Saturn comes out, but the Blizzard comes in. Oh, Plasma, you dropped the blade. You can't find anything, but the Blizzard goes down quickly enough that they are able to push through, and Plasma will get Tyler. And this is where things start working out for them. A lot of time has been turned off the time bank, though, and it does make me worry if that the chokehold will be a problem for the Shock. It's a big question on my mind, Billy.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, but the thing is, you know, Stuff and Things is doing the right thing by trying to get a little aggressive here. Zando's in the back line, getting some pressure behind them. He's going to be able to work up towards that Death Blossom, but you've got dueling grabs ready to go. Shadow coming out from the upper.
And it was blocked. Stuff and
Okay, so, you know, going into this right now, I mean, the Grafton Surge being thrown out by Hidden Dagger. Nardog picking up a 2K there, taking out both DPS of Scuffed Shock. And, I mean, that was absolutely filthy coming out of them. But, I mean, the progress is going to be made right now. Looking at a little bit of a side sneaky here from Midwest Caliber on this archway. Nice wall being thrown up by Onyx right now. Graf thrown into the mix by Optic. That's going to utilize a lot of DPS pushes right now. Shatter coming out from Stuff and Things. That is going to allow them to push around this corner, and the Streets phase is wide open. Nardog does take out Plasma with a Deadeye, but I mean, met with the Fire Strike to the noggin. So, you know, we're going to have to look and see how far they can get around this corner. I think that, you know, Midwest Caliber is going to have to, you know, take their time and really get their bearings about them. You know, I'm looking at Yubber Guy getting close to a Shatter. Onyx is going to have a Blizzard coming up online very shortly. Nice wall to cordon off the tank and the Regina. So looking at it, you know, we're going to have them come in with this. And Onyx, Onyx, you need to do it.
You get it, but your Shatter comes out, or Blizzard as well, follow up, but the damage has been already done. But can they follow up? We need to focus on this right now. This is the opening that they are looking for on the side of Midwest Caliber if they want to try to win out of the fight, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Two tanks still surviving, and they will be able to secure it. This is not a lot of time. Well, it's 3 minutes, so they could potentially get it. Shock. It is a little bit back and forth. They don't have many ultimates right now.
I mean, you can start the defense here right now with the Graviton Surge, but I mean, Nardog swapping off of the Reaper, going over to the Widowmaker, trying to get some domes for compensation of them getting the second point there. But you got to look. I mean, Death Blossom, you've got Shatter almost available. You know, they're going to have to be very economic in how they do this.
They're going to be very, well, I mean, you would hope at the very least. At the moment, though, they will have to fall back. Dropped an Earth Shatter, didn't find the value in it. With that being said, good self-portrait. Didn't drop the Blossom or anything else yet, so they are going to lose some time, but they still have quite a few ultimates up their sleeve.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now, you know, they've got Shatter online. They almost have another Blizzard online by Onyx. I mean, the walls being thrown up by Onyx right now is a game changer. You know, we're going to have to watch to see if there's somebody that can stop the Death Blossom from happening. There's no real stun ability to take them out of it. So, you know, it's going to be basically uncontested. I think Tricio with the sound barrier is going to be the best defense against that.
Agreed. Yeah, there's just nothing really that you can do about it. Unless you just go ahead and eliminate Zando before they can even do anything. I mean, a grab will do the trick right there. Dropping the Blossom. I like the idea of just like trying to jump in and save everybody to get Yover Guy, but he's straight for one. A little bit of bish is coming in from the Reaper, and they'll pay the price by losing that ultimate for the next fight. Oh, yeah. They swap. Okay.
They swap, but I mean, you also fed Optic their Graviton Surge there by, instead of, you know, kind of, you know, just letting them get out. You fed the Grav, so now you've got Grav available. Shatter is almost available. You're looking at a Nano Blade coming from Scuffed Shock right now. The Blizzard's going to have to be huge, and the sound barrier is going to be absolutely perfectly timed.
Well, you may not even need to worry about the Blizzard if you're able to wall up everybody. That being said, the elbow being held down pretty well. Just going to go for it. Big Anthony, but no follow-up if everybody's going to go down one by one. And here's me thinking Onyx was a rock type.
Definitely not a potato type for sure. Nice Blizzard thrown in, you know, catching the right people. Now, how fast can you work up to it? But in the interim, you know, while all that was going on, Nardog throwing in a massive amount of TNT, getting that AoE and burst damage, has Bob almost available.
Yes, and Bob is a really big creature to deal against. You have to use a lot of resources to survive it. And here we go. The Blade's going to come out from the back line, but there's already a lot of damage happening. Tricio will drop the sound barrier to keep them alive, but the Earth Shatter will come out and try to follow up through that. Those managed to get at least one pin. They still have so much to push here. On the side of Shock, they do manage to find quite a few people, but now they have no ultimates for when meeting them up at the point, or the spawn, excuse me, but they might not even meet them at the spawn because they are being taken out one by one. They're pushing it, but this is a great tango coming out from the side of Midwest Caliber. So we're going to see the grab come out finally, and they're supercharged, and Reinhardt is hungry to swing the hammer around. Very close to the shatter as well. Finally ready. Drops it. Gets two. Numbin things and Zando going to go down. And this might be it. The match point finally going over to Midwest Caliber, and they will secure it.
Victory.
Whew, what a massive fight there in the elbow of point C of Kings Row. And let me tell you what, the sustain coming out there from the Midwest Caliber is what kept them up. I mean, I thought Lisa was going to turn that battle single-handedly with the rally and the blade, but not to be outdone. I mean, just wow, what a massive turn of events there. You know, the full hold coming from the attack phase, and I thought they had all of the momentum going into point C there. You know, taking out Onyx with Blizzard in hand at the beginning of point C. I thought it was going to be an easy take there, but let me tell you what, Nard Dog going over to that Ash is what absolutely secured them the point there.
It was, and to be honest, Onyx as well with the walls were pretty massive. The DPS were certainly the star of the show. Honestly, there was just a lot of great moments from a lot of great people. It was a very good map overall. But that being said, Midwest taking the match point, backs against the wall for Scuffed. If they really want to bring this to map 5, if they can, they do have the choice here, and they are going to choose Volskaya. Any tactical advantages you're noticing for Shock here with Volskaya, or do you think this is just the comfort? Because I think this was their favorite control point map, if I'm checking correctly.
Let's see, control point, Li Zhang for both of them. It looks like for the assault they like Hanamura
Assault,
better.
yes, sorry.
So I mean, it is Midwest Caliber's favorite map though. So they're actually picking into Midwest Caliber's wheelhouse here. So I mean, Optic versus Hidden Dagger right now. That's going to be the battle on the screen that we're going to be really focusing in on, is who gets the grabs first, who gets the more fortuitous bubbles coming out from the off tank roll.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here for them, and I do think it is definitely that battle of Optic versus Hidden Dagger. Normally, we would look at the healers, you and I, and go like with the Moiras, because we do see Moira come from both sides time to time, and go like, all right, here's a race between the coalescents and who can get that the fastest. But they're not using the heroes at the same time, so it really does come down to looking at that off tank and who can make everything just feel a lot more powerful and just go in guns blazing. And especially in Volskaya, you're going to pay attention to the person that lives there, so may as well pay attention to the Zarya. So looking at this, is there any other heroes you want to see either, or I'm sorry, not heroes, but players? You want to see any players maybe not step up their game, but maybe try to stay consistent?
I think Stuff and Things needs to stop feeding so much. The charge into the fight, I think you can control the pen a little bit better.
They get walled a lot too.
Yep. I mean, the walls, you've got to be very aware of where Onyx is at all times. He did evade a lot of walls, but I think that he's getting cordoned off a lot more than what is happening to Yober Guy. Also, the Tyler versus Hen main healer battle right now is being won by Tyler. Hen coming out with the Ana right now, though, is starting to creep up there. The anti-nades that are being thrown in, I'm really loving what I'm seeing from Hen. So I think that getting the range down on those antis and making sure that you get the most value out of it, not only hitting your own people, but getting, the other team into the anti, is what's really going to turn this match on its head. I think that if Hen gets the range completely zeroed in, this could be a completely different map, and we might go map 5.
Yeah, I mean, map 5 just seems very likely, and we'll see what happens. I think what we have to wait and see is also if the ultimate usage will not be used as frequently as it has been. There has been a lot of moments where Q has just been pressed at any given moment with no real follow up, or it's been either build up a bunch of ults and then just drop it right away, Billy.
Yeah, I think the ultimate economy is something that we really need to hit on here. I think that Midwest Caliber has just a little bit more of a discipline going into it. We've seen Onyx a couple of times, whether the beginning effects of an ultimate going into them and then pressing Q. I think that as far as ultimate economy, I think Onyx has shown the best restraint in pressing Q.
Yeah, I think that is true as well. And, I would say also, I think to be fair to also Tricio as well, I think they've held on to sound barriers at very crucial moments as well that we've noticed when they've gone the Lucio route. It's very big to see. So we're about to find out very very soon. I'm actually just going to ask production live real quick. Should we go to a break? Do you think it's a good time to go to a break, production? Yeah, let's get okay. Production wants a break. We want a break. Let's go to a break real quick to find out if the series is going to keep going. Don't go anywhere. Didn't see you there. We were just about to start the game without you. We wanted to keep the action all to ourselves. Just kidding. We wouldn't do that to you. We wanted to make sure that you catch all the action here at EloHell as we bring ourselves back into the game of Volskaya. Looking at the defense, no surprise here from Midwest Caliber Onyx on that May. Looking at the rest of this stuff, Billy, how are you feeling about the rest of this comp?
Looking at the defense right now, coming out from Midwest. I mean, Plasma, or I'm sorry, from Scuffed Shock. Looking at Plasma on this Echo, I think that that could be a wrench into what Midwest Caliber's defending. The sticky bombs, big. Way to kind of aggress into people and getting that focusing beam going. When somebody is underneath 50% of their health, or the shield's underneath 50% of its health, that's a absolute dagger into any team. But down goes Stuff and Things first into this, and a nice wall once again by Onyx.
Yeah, pretty massive. Does make them secure this once more with healing. And, this, hidden dagger, speaking of which, of daggers, this allows Yober to get pretty much to that shadow very, very quickly, Billy.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at, you know, the aggression being shown by Yabber right now, but I mean, Tricio getting a little bit overzealous and getting deleted by Zando on the McCree. You know, they wanted to secure the kill on the Plasma, but losing his life in the middle of it. Tyler, right now in the Coalescence department, we were talking about, would it be Moira versus Moira? Yep.
Fire strikes like that keep me awake at night. I'm not going to sleep, Billy, but shatters like that make me think about them for many more nights to come. Deadeye comes down! Oh, Sango! Let's drop the shield. Yober's shield was destroyed. Everybody's going to go down, and there we go. Shock. Immediately. Just flip it over. It's those minute plays right there.
The minutia, I mean, Plasma did all the work there, really, getting sticky bombs onto Yober guy's shield, even after the shatter, and then finishing it off with that focusing beam that I was just referencing, taking that shield down just in the nick of time for Nando to drop the hammer. And oh my goodness, that is a massive time bait coming into point B here on Volskaya. 5 minutes. That's going to be a lot to deal with, and Shatter already online for Stuff and Things, and Lisa is going to be able to keep them up with this rally.
Well, they got a bit time bait, but let's see if they can keep it. Because again, Ice Walls come up, throw them off. Let's see the duplicate come out. Earth Shatter coming out right now. Does manage to find nothing, unfortunately, but it does feel a lot of pressure right now. Here comes the Shatter in from the other side. Drops a lot. Why do they drop the Shatter Stuff and Things? What are you doing?
I'm confused.
Billy.
I'm confused as to why you press Y there, because I mean that's an absolute fight starting ultimate. It's a game changer.
And you had Plasma using her shadow already.
Yeah, but I mean that is just absolutely weird for me. Onyx does get the Blizzard online in that fight, so we're gonna see the Blizzard come out, deny the aggression coming in. But I mean, nothing much in the tank to defend with right now. This is going to be a dry push from both sides. Zando closest with the Deadeye.
But the good news is, okay, well, I mean, don't even worry about the points. Just catch them off guard. Drop the Blizzard from a different angle, and we'll be fine to go, as they will be able to fall back. And now, Billy, they now have even more stuff to work with on the side of Midwest Calendar.
Absolutely, and I mean, Hen getting out with their life right there. Coalescence in hand, we've got Graviton Surge to kind of initiate with. Nando's going to have to get into a weird or a good flank position to really make use of this Deadeye that he's got available right now. But Tyler does have the Coalescence in return. Also, Yabber guy with another Shadow. This will be number 3 for this map already.
That is certainly impressive. It's a good number to have. Already again, the Ice Wall comes in for Stuff and Things. And the Shatter as well. Stuff and Things again, the over-aggression. 13 exposed. Find some stuff though, and they do get some results. So I don't know why, but Stuff and Things gets over-aggressive, and then there's a flip back, and then it flips back again. It's like a seesaw with aggression. And Stuff and Things is the one that starts the momentum. And here we go. Tricio goes down. Coalescence comes up to keep him alive. The first tick has already been taken. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. And I don't know if they're going to commit to this. Well, with that, they do make me feel like they are. Plasma going on to the Moira. I don't know if they're going to be able to get the Coalescence fast enough, but we'll see what happens. They're very close to it. They will be able to, and they are able to drop it. This might be enough stability to keep it alive, but here comes the bomb. They will be able to shoot down enough things. No, not to be the case when you have a lot of bubbles coming in from the top optic, and now Stuff and Things able to keep that momentum going with the swinging hammer, and now it's the staggering going, and we see the wrecking ball come up. The ball though from Onyx, able to find 2. Isn't enough though. A massive Shatter comes in with a res haunted Nardog. Is it going to be a good enough hero to keep it alive? Ash is a great hero, but this is enough to survive. There's been a lot of damage onto the hero, so maybe they do have to fall back a little bit. Oh my gosh, what a long fight that was.
Take a breather. Go ahead and take a load off there as you just carried that whole entire fight with your expert analysis going on in the middle of it. But look at, I mean, the stagger and the stall heroes that were being brought out. I mean, Onyx getting a massive pulse bomb with the Tracer, swapping back over to the comfort of their May. Yabberguy is going to have a Shatter online, and Hidden Dagger going back to the Zarya. You know, I thought you might want to hold the ball there for a minute and maybe use the mines to kind of deny the aggression onto the point. But, I mean, Zando bringing out the Doomfist already halfway to his Meteor Strike.
Oh, what does Meteor Strike do? Does it just get in the back line and just, I guess, bother them? Easy escape plan? I mean, it's multi-purpose. I'm just, we'll see what happens. I mean, 30 seconds, not a lot to think about with that kind of time. But we'll see. Shatter comes in, and Bob comes out. Tricio does get taken out, but already Xander goes down immediately. Polus is coming in, but the Shatter! But no, there's no follow-up. That's the problem. Everybody's already gone down. I understand Stuff and Things doing what they can to try to keep the dream alive, buy some time, maybe even do a miracle, but it's just not going to be enough power.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, that's the second Shatter that we've seen kind of thrown away in the middle of a grav. And you've got to think, you know, holding on to it, even dying, you know, and coming back from spawn, you know, being able to lay them out on their backs, coming out or coming onto the point, you've got to really, you know, measure your Y presage there. And I mean, it was just unfortunate in the extreme.
It was, and now here we go. No ultimates to the name. They're just going to have to hope that maybe Plasma will get a blizzard in time with enough damage from allies, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Oh, a big bubble onto Yoger as well. Doesn't allow them to survive, and here we go, blizzard with no fall. The whip will go down, and that is going to be the end of the push. And now, Shock. Ooh, this is looking tough.
It is looking very tough indeed, and you know, I question the Shatters right now. I mean, that's the only thing that I really question. You know, that I mean, looking at, you know, Optic had Grav almost online, and you know, you could have gotten, you know, the Space Jam combo with the Meteor Strike and the Graviton Surge, and that could have done a lot because they didn't have a Lucio to fight against that. So I mean, you could have really gotten a nice combo out of that. But when conditions set, you know, match point here as Midwest Caliber go on to the attack, and you've just basically got to get, you know, a little bit more than you know, 33%. You got to get 34%, and you win the match and go to 5-1 here in the Get Good NA rookie or beginner division.
Rookie, actually, you had it right the first time.
Yeah, I had it right the first time.
It's all good. We got to talk to EloHell because I felt like, you know, with intermediate, rookie, and beginner, it all feels like synonyms more than differentiation titles. I'm just saying, EloHell, just think on it. I'm not in charge of anything. You could just kick me out of the broadcasting whenever you'd like. But with that being said, we are going to be moving on to focusing on this and trying to save my skin here. With Zando on the Torb. I do like this choice, actually.
I really like it too, but Nardog's going to counter that with maybe some sneaky teleportation abilities, maybe going to the middle platform here.
Could well work, but you still are running into a crossfire. You're not sneaking around that turret anytime soon. Depends on where they placed it, though. Here comes. Top of the, like you said, going midway. Straight and narrow, as some people would say, as they are going to go through. Do manage to get Zando's turret, and hey, the main tank's gone. Stuff and thinks, oh boy! Oh boy!
Oh boy!
Yep, that is also a Symmetra setup, and this is looking very much like the end, Billy.
Oh my goodness, what a bloody fast time there it's going to be. It's going to be at least 5.5 minutes as they go on to point B. Yabberguy already has Shatter in hand. I mean, he just basically was swinging the hammer without regard to life and limb, and the healing resources were there. The Symmetra turret's doing a lot of damage as well. Plasma going to go ahead and bring out the Bastion here.
Because, sure, level 3 turret, why not? You have nowhere else to go except from spawn, so let's see what we can do. Zando's near that. Molten Core, that's pretty good for them. That could help out a little bit. They only have a tick and some change left to protect, though. And there's the Shatter! Bastion is gone! Oh gosh, like a horror movie, they just obliterate them off screen as they will go through. Maybe it was on screen, I don't know. But either way, looking at this is already a turret set up here. This is looking pretty rough. Nardog just kind of being the ringleader for all this and just setting up perfect setups. Multi-4 will come out. It's not enough. It is just going to be it. That is the 3-1 right there for our friends on Midwest Caliber. It was quite the series, but that is going to be it. The Blizzard comes out, keeps them alive. No way to really contest after Hen goes down. A massive ice wall shatters that right out of the way. Sends the message. Wait, hold on. The ice wall went down in enough time. Xando gets 2. Wait, they're both gone. They held it. Shock just did it.
Caster curse right there, calling calling the end of the match before it actually happened. And I mean, Xando coming out on the Doomfist now, bringing out the Australian bomber. Interesting.
Sure. I mean,
Onyx swapping over to the bar as well.
Fine. Hold on. There's a Zarya.
Yeah.
Okay. There. That's better.
That's better.
Sure. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Window comes out. Onyx does manage to get Lacero, though they don't need to worry about ultimates too much from Shock because they've used a lot and they swapped some heroes as well. This might be finally the actual attempt coming in here. It just depends on what miracle happens. Plasma did swap over to the Tracer last push. They could get a pulse one very soon if they can blink in there in the nick of time, but it doesn't seem to be the case. The Coalescence comes in, and that is it. That is your champions right there for this series. Midwest Caliber does actually take the win, and I can't curse.
I mean, dude, the aggression being shown by Midwest Caliber there, especially on this last point, you know, they were able to absorb, you know, basically getting wiped in their first attempt at taking point B, but then bringing out Onyx onto the Pharah and taking out Tricio in the beginning of it. That was what, I mean, just brilliant. I mean, Xando never had a chance to bring the Widowmaker, and, you know, just absolutely filthy work coming out of Midwest Caliber. 3-1 winners here in a pretty one-sided affair. I think that the one map that they won on Junkertown, you know, they used the speed in the right way, and they never got the win back in their cells after that.
Yeah, I would say it's a hard. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say it was a hard-fought win. I think Midwest Caliber had to work for that win. I think Shock did a good job. Granted, there were some cracks in the wall that we did see, but mainly that ice wall that we saw come out from them. But I mean, let's not give credit where credit is due because there was a lot of great stuff from the Shock. We did see Hen pop off with some great heals. We did see some really great aggressive plays coming in from Yogurt Guy, albeit caught off by the ice walls from Onyx and maybe should have learned from that. But I think it was a great series overall, and I think it was very close in some retrospect, and I think the 3-1 doesn't do it justice.
I absolutely thought we could have gone 5 maps though. Not to take anything away from Scuffed Shock. I just think that the coordination that was being shown by Midwest Caliber, I think that's the biggest telling between the two. The focus fire when it needed to be there was there. The shot calling had to have been superior because you saw at points Scuffed Shock sometimes going in 2 different directions, whereas, you know, it seemed like a laser beam of focus coming from Midwest Caliber. I think that's what I meant by that statement.
Oh, fair enough. Well, totally fine, and no harm, no foul. But either way, both positive records, both very good teams, and both very well off in their respective division. With that being said, though, we are done as we are going to close it off for you. We want to say thank you to our earlier production team for the EU. We want to thank EloHell for providing such a great platform, even if I am an absolute idiot and don't agree with your naming of divisions. But that's just me, and you are a great organization nonetheless. Thank you to all the wonderful productions. Thank you to you, like Evie, User Error, and all the other cool people, Apollo, oh whoa. And then we will also thank our wonderful culinary co-caster, Chef Billy, for casting with me as well. I have been your host, Ben. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter as well, the casters. And also make sure to join our Discords and be a loving family. Remember, during these times of needs, we all need to stay together. And what brings us more together than anything else? The love of gaming and esports. So we'll see you next time.